Hi, good
How's it?
evening.
Yes. How's everyone doing? Let us know. You can either unmute yourself or show yourself in the video if you'd like, or in the chat. Let us know how you are doing. We'd like to hear from you.
Yeah, yes. How things have been going? Good to see you, Vanessa, Janet, Mariana. Good to see you. Yes, this is a good start. Well, we think the rest of them will be coming
Yes.
on.
All right. Doing well. All right. It's from Vanessa.
Yay. Awesome, awesome. Well, this has been it hasn't been really bad. The sky opened up today. It might be a little smokier because we got a couple of new fires
Yes.
showing up.
Yes, we do. Unfortunately. Mhm.
And we had a little wind gust, so it kind of blew it this way.
Yes,
Um,
a little bit.
yeah,
We're hoping that that's all it blows.
yeah. My car's still covered with ash, though. We'll see.
We'll see. And we at least it wasn't the smoke wasn't bad enough that we were able to do our morning walk.
That's true. That's true.
So we got that in this morning.
Good. Up in the forest, the one that's not burning.
Yes, the one forest that is still not burning in California.
Yes. So it's been good. It's been awesome. So really, we've hearing because a lot of people are really we just have you know one of our attendees just leave our house not too long
Yes.
ago. So we know she's got to get home, take care of mom, and before she gets back on. But a lot of people are in a valley
Mhm.
of stress.
Yes.
That's what we're picking up, a valley of stress. So today we want to talk to you about sometimes when you try to change your lifestyle, man, you really go through some changes.
Mhm.
You win today, you lose tomorrow.
Mhm.
You win next week. You don't you don't win the next day.
Mhm.
You lose a couple of minutes. Suddenly, it's a defeatist. You just get this defeatist attitude.
You do. And then sometimes there are a lot of things that, that cause stress, and they could be immediate stress, or it could be long. Some of us live with long-term stress.
Mm-hmm.
It's in our lifestyle so much so that we don't even call it stress. We don't even
Yeah,
realize it's stress because it just really it's part of our life.
because like, girl, I'm tired of you. Boy, I'm tired of you. Just kind of comes out in those kind of languages, or you know.
Definitely, and that's the next segue is that our stress level, anxiety level, emotional stress, those types of things really how we respond to people. Sometimes we have a shorter fuse. Sometimes we respond in a way that normally, if we weren't under stress, maybe we wouldn't necessarily respond that way.
That's right. That's right.
And if we go through some of the questions,
Yes.
so we asked a few questions as we normally do, and these were more personal questions. So we put only if you felt comfortable to share in the chat, then you would be able to share. But one of the questions was or is, are you experiencing any stress lately? And I think if you've been
Mm-hmm.
alive in 2020, there's been a lot of things that have been happening just in this year that would definitely put you under stress.
Mm-hmm. 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 A lot. um, it's a season that we're getting concerned with for you and for us.
Mhm.
Fall is here. Just came since we last talked to you. I believe last Sunday we were still in summer, maybe, and then the next day or two became fall. And what comes fall is not the rest of September because we're going to end it, right? This is the last weekend of September.
Mhm.
But check this out. That's right. That's right. So look, this October until the Super Bowl in February is eat crazy season, right? Halloween, Thanksgiving,
Yes.
Christmas. We you know, the 12 days of Christmas is more than the gifts. We eat almost every day. Two and three times at Christmas. And then we got to celebrate the new year. Got to go back to our favorite foods. We got to just toss it on. And then we said, oh, we got to start. And then come the Super Bowl, and all the Super Bowl parties come up. And boy, by the time February comes, Black History Month comes, we can't even eat the soul food because we've added a few pounds. But then we start eating soul food to celebrate. So we realize the season that you're in, and what we're finally realizing is stress can drive you to eat. And if you eat crazy, it'll drive you to get stressful.
Mm-hmm.
You can be depressed and eat, but if you eat crazy and you're not where your comfortable weight or health should be, it'll drive you back.
That's right.
To eating crazy.
Okay.
So it's all connected for a reason.
Yeah.
But
and
that's what we're going to explore and help you.
Right, which leads to the next second
Mhm.
question that we had. It was, have you had emotional trauma recently or in the past? And emotional trauma. Again, this year, has brought about emotional trauma for various reasons. Not only the pandemic, but definitely the highlight of the racial injustices that have been happening. And I say highlight because it's always been. It's just that,
Getting televised.
it's getting televised. And so definitely here last week, dealing with, the result of Breonna Taylor's situation. And people are really, it's an emotional stress because, every female of color can definitely relate to Breonna, and think about that it could have been you in that situation.
Yeah, just sleeping.
Yeah, and so emotionally, that gets people. I know a mutual friend of ours that put up a post in which she was crying. She was just very emotional about what had happened to the decision. So even that alone, if you've already been dealing with emotional stress, that is adding on top of it. And just like what you said, the season that we're coming in, how we deal with our emotions, our trauma, our stress, a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of ways to do that is we just want to medicate. We want to medicate. We want to feel better. We want to forget for a little bit that Black people aren't getting shot by the police. We want to forget for a little bit that there's not a pandemic and that you have to walk around everywhere with a mask, right? We want to forget, some of us want to forget for a little bit that we're in 2020 and all the things that have happened for 2020. And then being sedentary, medicate. Yeah, that's the best word I can think of it. So with the holidays coming up, those can be medicate, opportunities. And then, we know that a lot of people go through depression also during the holidays, maybe because of people that have passed around that time and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and it's so much so that it's hard to even sleep in your car if you're not in the right place.
Yes, right.
I'm not sure if I got the names right. It's been so many, Richard or something, that he was sleeping in his car, and then on one of the Wendy's parking lot or Donald's parking lot, bam, wakes up. They start him. He starts to fight, wrestle, run away. There have been so many people that just walk up on trying to sleep, but they're really trying to get a break. Tired, trying to pull that car over, sleep. It's becoming stressful. Just I don't know if it was Saturday night, no, Friday night, somewhere, maybe last week, Thursday, where we drove kind of downtown. No, Saturday night, San Jose. And while we were looking for different spots, we had visited one of the pastors and his wife, and while we were going downtown, there was you see a police car sitting on the side, and suddenly he makes the turn behind your car, and I wasn't saying much, but I'm just eyeballing him, trying to make sure that you know I got my window down so he could see me,
Mhm.
making sure that I'm not going to try to just not gaze at him, but not look at him, just trying to be normal. It's a stress that we live with, and we have to just kind of be open and honest about that. That, you know, we could say, whoo, I need a drink, or whoo, I
Right,
need me a
right.
double Mac burger after that stress.
Double
So
Mac.
that's what happens. Double Mac, double
and
pound, or whatever.
and so and then we were in conversation about how if you're in a situation where you're a caregiver, or
Mhm.
you're dealing with that type of thing, that's also stress. So there is so many avenues. And so with the season that's coming up,
Gotta take care of you.
yes,
Wow.
yes. With the season that's coming up, we understand that sometimes the last thing that you feel that you can do within yourself is to make a lifestyle change. Sometimes that can even be even more stressful. If you're dealing with a lot of stress and you're like, I know I need to be healthy, and what I got to do, what I got to change, what I got to do, what that can be even more of stress. But we've got some things to help you through this. And like we've said before, we're trying to create a community that's of support. And what are
Well, here's one of the things we talked
yeah.
about, like you're trying to make a change. Intellectually, in your mind, you need to lose weight. In your mind, you need to change up some things. In your mind, you're starting to get a little heavier. Clothes aren't fitting. And then you say, today, tomorrow, next week, I'm going to try to start to eat like that. And we've all been there. And then the next thing, you drive by an establishment and they got that fan going and that aroma comes and hits you, and you say, well, I'll start next week,
Yes.
and you feel like, and so what happens is there's a continual letdown of your expectations, continual letdown of what you want. So how do you get started? So what I was posting in some of these things was, listen, are you battling with trying to change your lifestyle? Are you feel like you're losing that battle? Tonight we want to show you a couple of basic things that will help you sort of change without thinking you have to do it like tomorrow night. Without thinking that you have to do it by a certain time. You want to be able to. So those are some of the things I was trying to get us to see. But that's what we're running, because that adds to the stress level.
It does.
That adds to the stress level.
Which is what I was saying earlier. That adds to the stress. And but at the same time, making some of these changes will help with the stress. So this is why we have to try to make these changes. But what are somewhere else? So are we sharing tips, or the 12-step tips?
Go to tips first.
All right. So we're gonna screen share with you guys an interesting article that Anthony researched. And
So I want y'all to get this. These are 10 tips of helping you make your lifestyle changes. You can read the doctor that did. I think it's Khalil. My glasses.
yes, because
we're not
doctors.
So we're gonna read to you.
We're not medical practitioners.
Nah, the children of our salaries don't come near
No.
to the medical profession salary. So we just here to show some love to our community and make them better. I want you to go down there to number 1 right here. Tips for making meaningful change. We'll send this to you if you want to know it, read it on your own, or even research the item, the area where I found it from. All right. So, first things we want you to do is there's nothing wrong with coming up with a clear cut vision of what you want to do. All right. What changes do you want to deal with? All right. So when you're trying to lose weight, it's not really about starving or depriving yourself of calories. So that's sometimes the diet will say, man, so many calories a day.
Right.
That you have to get in your mind, like that's not what you want to worry about.
Right.
That's not what you want to, make your pressure about. Oh, I'm eating this, how many calories? So now you might be on one of those
Right.
programs, but if you find yourself having to always count the calories, you'll feel like you are deprived. You'll feel like you're just like,
Right.
oh man. I can't.
And that's added stress because you're trying to count the calories and you're like, oh man, how many calories or where am I supposed to keep up with this? So yeah.
So what
definitely.
this doctor was saying was focus on something that has nothing to do with your weight management. So like things like exercising regularly. Okay. So if you could find a way to, okay, I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna make a decision to do some exercise. That'll keep it off of whether or not you're losing the weight, but this is a goal to do. Another one is, are you getting a good night's sleep? Have mercy. You'll be surprised how much that I just heard LeBron James say.
Yes.
What helps him be able to be ready for these stressful games and these high tense situations is he says no matter what he does, how he celebrates, he makes sure he gets sleep. And he's looking for the 8-hour sleep. So somehow he's connected that the body actually does better healing when it's sleeping. So just keep that in mind. Focus on if you're only getting 5 hours a night, then say I want to add another hour and start there. So I'm going to get a good night's rest that way. So that was one of the things. So that's what he's trying to do, other stress reducing. That way you don't have to keep worrying about, did I lose an inch? Did I lose? Because that's calorie. You're on the program, but you want to set goals somewhere else. Okay. Any response there?
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes getting a good night's sleep. What if you're having a hard time? What if your issue is you're going to bed, but you can't shut your mind off? It's just you're thinking about, okay, what's the next thing I got to do, and I got to take care of this, and I didn't like the way this person spoke to me, and you're rehearsing everything. Or are there some supplements, natural supplements that you'd be able to take to help with?
Yeah, some believe in the melatonin. Did I say that right? Melatonin. Some believe in that. That's not something I can share with you by experience, but I do. I've had my stretches of taking that, and so because like you said about coffee back in the day, some people think it wires up everybody. Some people does the opposite.
Yeah, that's me.
So sometimes you want to make sure that when you check the supplement, you want to check it in a low dose first, see how it does. And then so some people believe that. Sometimes it's as simple as getting up when you can't sleep because it sounds weird. Get up, walk around the house, and drink a glass of water. Right? Then go back and sit down. You might want to pick up the Bible or whatever. But really, it's that change of pace, getting your body up, resetting it. Go sit down. So sometimes I'm not able to. I just get up, I'll walk around. I may come in the kitchen, try to turn on a light, look around at some things, see what I can do, get me a glass of water, drink it, go lay down. I'm done.
Yeah.
So just think of that. Change your pace up.
Yeah, change of pace.
Because that just tells us there's something else on our mind.
Right.
That we're thinking about.
Yeah, I sometimes, not that I do it that often, but sometimes, certain essential oils, if you have an oil diffuser, lavender works really well. If it's soothing music, if it's sometimes, people like the sound of rain or something like that. I know for me that soothing, that, smell, and like you said, reading something that, is of interest. Sometimes it's a time to catch up. Oh man, there's this book that I've always wanted to read, or maybe I'm trying to catch up on a devotional, or maybe I'm trying to do. And I mean, for me, if the last thing I read is something about God, there's something soothing about that. So that helps.
Yeah. So number 2, make sure that you set a goal that you can win at. All right. So that means that it's achievable. It's not unrealistic.
Mhm.
All right. So if you say, oh man, I'm gonna try and lose 30 pounds or 50 pounds, it's unreasonable to think you're gonna do that by next Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So you want
Right.
to think more of 1 to 2 a week
Right.
and say, oh, we did that. That was pretty
Right.
good. So keep
Right.
it reasonable.
Right.
Don't, because this is when it's a battle, it's a long battle.
Oh,
It's
yes.
not going to be
Right.
short overnight.
Right.
No battle. I don't think in history there's been a 1 day battle. If y'all know about that, just send me that.
Right.
Send that down. But there's not. You have to work, you have to exercise strategy. You have to be able to deal with that and do that. Good. I'm glad that somebody can testify of the melatonin. That's really good. I
Mhm.
appreciate that. The village helping out again.
Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
okay, so the number 3, this is what I'm trying to emphasize. Number 1, set a goal that has nothing to do with your weight. You know, so let's say that you remember what you looked like in high school. And you had the muscles working, you had the legs going, you had the hips moving, you had everything going. You want to think about a dress maybe 5-10 years ago, that you want to try to get in.
Mhm.
So you just think about that. So, okay, to get in that dress, I'm gonna have to do these things.
Right.
So that took it off a weight and put it on to, I want to try something
Right.
like that.
And
That is something.
sometimes people lose inches before they actually
Good
start
point.
losing pounds.
Good point. Good
Yeah.
point. Now this one says, I don't know how many of you have a dog. I know a couple of my members, we got some.
Mhm.
Well, so you might want to set a goal of how to keep up with your dog when you take them on a walk without you needing oxygen and the dog's trying to say, what's up? Why can't we just keep going?
Mhm.
So sometimes we walk around Lake Merritt and the dog is trying to pull the people,
Right. Right.
and the people are gasping and all that. And then they make the dog sit down on the bench. The dog's trying to keep going. So if you set a goal like this time, I'm gonna keep up with Butch for a little bit. I don't know if his name Butch, Rafiki, whatever, African, white, whatever you want to do. But you want to keep up with it. That's one thing. That one kind of surprised me because that's a usual thing. So you just want to make sure you're focusing on those kind of healthy goals. Number 4, okay. This is the one that's kind of tough when we had the smoke arena, we had the smoke area, whatever. Something daily, all right?
Yes.
Because you may want to, so you just want to make it a routine. So I'm gonna tell you this right off the bat. Some people think that they can just get up every day and do a marathon, or they think that that's too much. I'm telling you this, being a part of Weimar Institute outreach, I was trying to go to that. Berta and Guillermo have been to that program. So it's about diabetes. And diabetes wants you to walk because it does something to the insulin. In their language, it opens up the doors to allow the insulin to function so that you won't need a needle. That's the function of walking after you eat is what they do. They want you to walk every time after you eat. So we eat on that particular outreach or that particular seminar workshop. They ate 3 times a day. We walked 3 times a day. All right. But if you were like really, really overweight and you haven't walked and the people's legs were this big, I saw it happen. You know what they asked you to do after every walk while the rest of us were walking a little bit under a mile or a quarter? They said, just walk around this flagpole. I thought that was interesting. Just get up, because what they want is motion. And this is what I'm trying to say here. Some routine that you are going to do something for a consistency. So you want to get some people say you want to keep that up for 30 minutes, but if you're just really, really overweight, you want to be able to make it around a little circle. So sometimes around your block, sometimes to the end of the corner and back is all you need to be able to get the endorphins kicked up and say, man, I like that. That wasn't bad.
And I like that if you find that you don't have time.
Right.
So a lot of times we want to say, no, I don't have time. I don't have time to walk. I don't have time. But you certainly can have at least 15 minutes or 20 minutes time if it's just to walk, like you said, down the street and back. But at least it gets you moving and it gets your mind off of whatever stress or whatever, a change of pace.
Yeah. So you just look outside. Okay, I'm going to walk down there. Sometimes you set a goal. I'm going to walk to the 3rd light post and you come back. Those are very simple accomplishment things that help you say, man, I did that today. You didn't run a marathon. You didn't have to worry about it, but you laid it. So I like this. This one I thought was lay out your exercise clothes the night before, and that kind of helps you with your mood. Oh, there they are. I better put them on. You know, do that. That's up to you. I don't. You know, I don't know that I have exercise clothes, but we just get out there what we got. Make healthy eating. This is where we're gonna help you today.
Yes.
A daily activity. Okay, now watch this. Now watch this. I don't care if you have what I said earlier, a double mac, or double burger, whatever you're gonna click on the thing. I don't care if you had that for breakfast. I don't care if you go get another huge steak for lunch. One of these times, reach for something that's healthy. All right. And it doesn't have to be boring. That's what they're talking about. So this is the program that they're talking about, the Thorn Weight Management. I know that if Veronica and Vanessa, and Mariana, and Berta, you guys are your matriarch was the Thorn, right? You all just click it. I don't know if this is you, but this is a program I thought was very interesting when I saw that. All right. So they're saying that they have some recipes, but we gave you a list of a couple of items last week, a couple of things that put out there. Those are good. Weimar Institute has recipe books. We have Yamada has the recipe book. Just try them. Say, okay, I'm gonna do one a day. All right, and then try to eat. There's something down here that I think we're gonna get to. So number 6, adopting habits that you can keep. This was kind of an interesting. This is what they're trying to say. Most of the fad diets, you know, it's not sustainable.
Right.
And that's why you get frustrated trying to count that. Oh, I got to the T and up. Now you just, and the only reason why you stay on because you're paying big money. You know.
Yeah. Like for example, if you're like, let's say one of the diets is no sugar, and you know that you're a sugarholic, right? Maybe you not being able to go without sugar for a whole month, that might be a task. So maybe you have to take it day by day. Maybe it's like, well, today I'm not going to be doing any refined sugars or refined carbs, and then take it day by day.
So I like what they say right here. This is a good one because we're not coffee drinkers, but some might be related. So if you get a latte, so you know that you're not going to stop drinking lattes tomorrow, right? You know that. So change it up. See, it says, maybe trying it with non-fat milk or no flavoring, and then see how you do that. You got to give your chance a couple of 10 days for those taste buds to change. So you just say, okay, I'm going to change that. I still might drink it, and then you'll find yourself trying to wean. This is what they're saying. Just try to get a new habit slowly and say, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do that. So that's what that's really trying to get at. Here's the bigger one, though.
Yes.
This is the kicker why I say we need to get this onto the. Okay, I like that. Intermittent fasting, yes. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, so I'm coming to this right here. Check out number 8, folks. Enlist support from family and friends. You might and I talk about this all the time. Sometimes I start to say your enemy, but I don't want to say it like that. Sometimes the force that keeps you off your goal is the one that loves you the most, are the people that are closest to you, right? So sometimes if they're not believing in your change, or they don't think you're going to do it, because after all, they know you very well, and that's when they bring over the extra, they've been out to McDonald's, they brought you extra shake or something. I was thinking about you, because girl, you getting too skinny, you're on a foolish mission. This is the pressure right here. It says family and friends. So here's what it is. Sometimes you just got to call up some brothers, call up some sisters, call up family and say, man, I was trying to do this, and it's okay, because you can trust them. You got to get to that level where you can trust them. And my husband came home with, extra loaded down pizza. And I was trying to be, this is the battle.
Right.
See, this is where the emotional stress comes. And I remember teaching, Berta, I think you went over and ministered. She's not with us now, Valerie, but I won't say the last name, but her name was Valerie. But I remember teaching on that and fasting, whatever, and they were wanting to do that. And they didn't feel like, the greatest of support was coming from, inside. I've seen a couple of sisters kind of pass on because their husbands didn't believe that was really the thing to do, the thing to get on.
Mhm.
And really, we can testify. Your family unit is really crucial to the cheerleading
Yeah.
of you're going to make a change.
Yeah.
So if you are measuring some stress level, this is where you got to start.
Definitely.
Yeah, you gotta start.
And understanding that support, it's great if your family or friends join you if they're needing to make some changes, but maybe they're not. So sometimes support can just be that they respect the decision that you're trying to make in your lifestyle change, and they're not trying to talk you out of it.
Right.
So I'll come down the alley of husbands and wives, right? So if your husband is deciding, or if your wife is deciding to make a health change, and she's like, you know what, I can't do milkshakes anymore or ice cream, or at least I'm trying not to do it for a while. And maybe part of your date night was that you would go get, a shake or an ice cream, right? And sometimes you want to take that personally, like now you're taking away the last thread of fun or whatever that we had. That's why, exactly.
All tricks, man.
And so it's really more about respecting the change, understanding that it's not personal. This is something that they want to do to feel better. And trust me, if your spouse feels better, that is a benefit to you. All right, it's a big benefit, because a healthy spouse, a spouse that a spouse that feels well, is going to be a happy spouse. Okay, so definitely, so support doesn't.
That's a big one.
Yeah, so support doesn't always mean that, okay, yeah, you're not eating ice cream, but does that mean I don't have to eat ice cream? No, hey, if you still want to eat your ice cream, but you respect and support that decision.
Yeah. So you wanna connect with a friend, just kind of tell them this is what I'm trying to do, blah blah blah. That's what you want to do. So sometimes, especially this is what I wanted to say, especially it used to be I could say the wife or the female of the home, but I don't have to say that anymore. I can say especially the one who does the cooking, the one who prepares the meal. They ain't got time to prepare two different styles, that's too much on them. This is how we eat, and this is what I want. And you trying to go and eat grass, that I ain't got no time for that. You're gonna have to find another. That's pressure. That's pressure.
Yes,
People
it is.
coming and saying you're losing too much, you're looking sickly.
Yes.
Because those kind of comments start coming.
Oh,
So this is what this is trying to say. Your biggest pressure will come from that. So you're fasting. I remember fasting with my family in the past, and they'd eat what they eat, and I have my bowl over here. But the part of that was, as you were saying, the respect.
Mhm.
Dad's on some crazy stuff. Dad's eating that rabbit food.
Mhm.
I don't know what dad is up to.
Mhm.
But I would be on my fast. But I would still sit at the table as if dinner. I just have my glass of water or juice or whatever. I think I was on a juice fast. I would just juice it. That was my meal. But I participated. I didn't try to act like I'm more holy. I'm doing a special thing better than them. It was my choice to improve my health, and I needed their support, or just like you say, just work with me. I'm going somewhere with this. So
and it's definitely, I think in my case too, finding friends that will respect or support and be like, I mean, even if your friend's like, oh, that sounds tough, but hey, you know what, I support you. Sometimes that's needed, because like you said, I know that was my experience. I mean, I'll be honest, I've never been a person that has gotten overweight or obese. That's not necessarily my body frame, but you don't have to be obese, overweight to be unhealthy. And I definitely was unhealthy, and I was feeling it. So when I was making some of my changes earlier on, people would be like, but you're skinny. What you mean? What, you don't need to lose more weight, and I'm like, I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get healthier.
Yeah.
And so,
and let's remember that you don't want to judge your health solely on your external.
Right.
Okay, so I remember, I can call her name because it really, really was an excellent, but her name was Gwen Foster. I think she became Dr. Gwen Foster. She was pretty much a Sabbath keeper, one that only went to church on Saturdays, pretty much out of Pine Forge Academy. If those who are online might remember that. Actually directed the Pine Forge Academy choir for a while. But I remember on a workshop with Pastor, she came in the room and she said, listen, she had become the health czar of Philadelphia. Philadelphia was listed as the, excuse this, terminology, we don't use it anymore, but let's say the most healthiest, the most obese. They called it the fattest city in America. So Philadelphia got together and said, we can't, all those chili cheese steaks or whatever. So they said, we can't be on this list. We got to come down a little bit. So they went on a plan and she was given that over the city. So she became the health czar. But she said, here's what she discovered. Although she was small frame, could never gain whatever, what the doctors discovered is that she was actually obese on the inside. This is what she said. She said, I was fat on the inside, so I was really messed up. I was having bad issues with my colon and my stuff like that. She says, this is what she said. So she had to get her diet and things right, and all that began to flush out. This is what I'm trying to say. You want, if you feel horrible, that's the body trying to speak.
Right.
It's trying to speak. That's what you want to do.
Right.
Go take care of it.
Right.
All right, so you want to get that. So yeah. So you want to stock your kitchen with the foods that you need to get started. All right. So sometimes we'll put up recipes or whatever. Just go buy those things.
Right.
All right. So it's a mindset. Let's say that you put them in your cabinet and Pastor, I didn't get to that last week. I didn't get to that last month. The goal is the intent to start, so that the day you start, you have these items, you have, especially the ones that don't perish. Now if you do some kale and some greens, trust me, you have to eat that within the 24 to 48 hours. They gonna turn on you. Otherwise, just toss them out, give them to the birds or the rabbit next door, whatever.
You can freeze them, but then
That's true.
You'll have to like steam them or cook them. You can't do.
And then set a specific time.
Right.
So I had another one that, man, this is gonna really help. But this is, it will help with. I think it'll lead into this. If you put that other one up, it'll lead right into this. All right, I'm gonna go through this real quick because these are foods that begin to. That one was called 12-step, but we'll send that info. You can study it and read it on your own. I'm gonna see.
It was 10 tips. This one is 12.
10. Okay. But this one. That I need to get to. All right.
I don't know. Is it this
okay,
one?
So go back to the top. It's gonna be this one.
Okay.
So look, I want you to read this top.
They can't see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm getting so excited that I'm about to read something that you can't even see.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna go right to the top, way to the top, way to the top. All right. So this is a 12-step program, but this is gonna be a good program. This ain't about being, trying to come off some. A quote by Leon Elwood: "If I'd known I was going to live so long, I would have taken better care of myself." That's kind of funny. All right, so that's what we're gonna get to. So I'm gonna want you to scroll down because I want to get all the way down to this is the 12 steps. I'm gonna avoid all of that. We'll send that to you if you want to read it. All right.
Oh, we've put the link in the chat if you want to access this article.
Okay, so these are the 12. So go back up to number 1. I'm going to read these real quick, and number 6 is going to be the real key. All right, so here's what you want to do to help transition. That's what we want to do. How do you transition? Because that's the frustrating part. Trying to eat all these meals that they're showing us, and you can't make it, whatever. So look, here's one right off the bat: eat fruits or snacks. Eat fruit for snacks. Okay. So here's what I was going to show you, because one of the statements under there says, get one of the small bags of small apples. All right. Small bag. You know why it's small? Because you can handle one.
Yeah.
Right. So you're going to start with a small apple. Don't try to eat something that's big like a grapefruit. Get your small bag. Eat that a little bit. All right. Number 2, drink water instead of soda. This is the most challenging one if you love soda. All right. Try the water before you reach for the soda, and then you will find that you don't need you won't have that craving.
Right. And maybe it doesn't say that, but maybe if like you drink soda every day,
Right.
maybe you
Cut back.
cut
Right.
back.
That's what you
Yes.
want to do.
Mhm.
So look at it. Number 3, eat whole grain bread. We've talked to you about that before. Number 4, add fresh veggies to your dinner. Okay. So it could be a big steak dinner, but now you want to add some veggies to that.
Mhm.
That's what that's trying to get at. This is helping you to be able to do that, and it'll help you cut the less healthy dish out. That's where I'm headed. So, oh, I'm sorry about this, but this is according to the doctor. Doesn't cut out red meat. That's all it just says.
So maybe instead of a steak dinner,
Get you a
it's
chicken.
Yeah, chicken or
All right,
fish
or fish.
with fresh veggies.
All right. So that's what you want to do. That's a changeover. Help you keep that fleshy taste going, hooking it up. So this is where we're coming tonight. That's why I wanted
Yes.
this come in there.
Yes.
So you can make pizza instead of ordering the pizza. Homemade pizza is the best. If you haven't made it, you should. Okay. The simple way is to get it ready. Start with a simple version. That's right. You don't have to go deep.
Yes.
You'll be surprised with how your taste buds will do that. All right. So it says for a simple version, just add some gourmet spaghetti sauce. Not ragu, that's what they say. I don't know what's in the ingredient, but so cut up some veggies. We're about to show you. This person likes tomatoes, mushrooms, spinach, olives, whatever you can use. Brush the veggies with some olive oil, or we'll show you, Yamada will show you how we do it. All right. So then number 7, nuts instead of chips. What do I like?
Oh yeah, that's him. That's him.
I get those pistachios. I sit and watch the game and crack them, eat them. I like the raw one, but I can still crack them. Or raw almonds really will fill you up because you won't eat a lot of raw almonds. You just eat a handful.
Yeah.
All right. This one says soy milk instead of whole milk. So we want to add to that a little bit too. A coconut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, any plant-based milk. It doesn't have to necessarily be almond milk, coconut milk. Yeah.
So just try whatever suits you. Whole grain cereal. What we like to do, that hemp cereal. Sorry, it's really good. Hemp cereal, whatever.
Right.
Berries instead of candy. Yes, you can do that. Strawberries, you can actually freeze them, put them in some whatever you make of your yogurt or whatever, freeze it and eat that in the morning. It'll be awesome. It'll be okay. We've done this one before. Scrambled tofu instead of fried eggs. Trust me, people, the turmeric makes it look like eggs. It creates that color like eggs.
And you can season it like you would season your eggs.
Right. And then sometimes just try veggie dinners and you can do that. All right. So number 6 was making simple pizza. Here's the thing that help you transition. Some of us love to go get that pizza. Pizza Hut, Domino Pizzas, Little Caesars. I think I've had them all. Even some that got some Italian names to it. We just go in there and get a Z. What's some of the better ones if you just had to go?
If you you want to get good veggie pizza, and it's vegan too.
Right.
You can go to Blaze Pizza if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
Mod Pizza.
That's right.
And the serving size is the pizza. I guess it's a personal one, and people can eat the whole thing. We usually split it, so we don't eat the whole. He doesn't order one, and I order one. We usually, but even if you're like, no, that's too small, I need to eat the whole one. Good vegan, I'm telling you, vegan, but it's really, really good. So if you're looking, you're like, I don't have time to make pizza. I feel like pizza. Try Blaze, try Mod Pizza.
So that's the one we thought we could help you transition. What was this one? Artemisy?
Arismendi.
I'm not. Where's that one at? Is that San Francisco though? I don't mind it, but we'll try it. But tell us where that one is at, and we'll certainly add to that. That's what you want. So you're just looking for good alternatives. You can still eat the same.
Right.
You can still season it the way you want to season
it. Right.
And it'll still be okay. It's in Berkeley. We're gonna get to that. Okay, yes.
Yeah, and and if thank you for giving that suggestion.
Yes.
Maybe some of you have tried good veggie or vegan pizza, even if it's veggie pizza. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be vegan. Maybe you're a meat eater, but you're trying to transition from not eating meat. What's maybe you can put in the chat. What are some good places to get even vegetarian pizza?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. No, I was going to say you got.
Yes. So what we
making your own crust.
Yes. So what we shared in the chat is a link to this, it's Dr. Sabi's recipe. So this is where my pizza crust comes from. And it's really how to make bread out of quinoa. Okay. But I went ahead and took that recipe and kind of modified it. So we're going to show you guys. This pizza does not take, first of all, it does not take a long time. Okay. So if we're talking about, you know, oh, I really don't have time to make pizza, particularly no crust, you know, usually when you do a crust, you have to like knead the dough and the yeast and rise, and you know that can be, you know, that can definitely be you know, something that is time consuming. So this is not time consuming because I usually don't have time for all of that. So here is the video. All right. So here is the crust. And this particular crust is made from the recipe that I just shared with you guys on the chat. And for those of you that can't access it, if you go to drsabicellfood.com, he's got a lot of good recipes. So what I did is, instead of pour when you see the recipe, it'll tell you to pour it in I think a tin pan, you know, to make like a loaf. But what I did is, instead, I took a baking sheet and, you know, put the wax or parchment paper, and then I poured the batter all throughout. So this would be more like a thin crust, and you can see, you know, how thin of a crust. And if you like a thicker crust, then you could make it, you know, bake it in a smaller sheet, or, you know, you could even use probably a pizza stone, however you want to do that. But great recipe in there. So I already baked it, and this is what it looks like baked. So then what I did is, to make my own sauce. This is where, oh, so this was done like in 20 minutes. Okay. Because it wasn't deep. It was a flat crust. So it was done in 20 minutes. While this was baking in the oven, I was like, okay, I want to make a fresh, you know, like a marinara sauce. So I took these, these are organic sugar plum grape tomatoes. And so I took a pint, this is a pint, and I took a pint and I put it on a baking sheet, and I broiled them on low, but I broiled them for about 10 minutes so that they could get like that nice dark kind of stewed tomato type deal. And then I took and then after I finished, I put them in an immersion blender, those handheld immersion blenders, and I put in here some oregano and a pinch of Himalayan pink salt. And you know, you can put garlic in this if you want to. If you want to make this spicier, you could put cayenne pepper in it. But that was it. And this sauce only took me 10 minutes. Like I said again, those tomatoes in the broiler, 10 minutes, you have stewed tomatoes, and it changes it to a sweeter taste. So so there's that, and I'm about to put this on there. And then in the pizza, where it was talking about like the veggies, in here I have chopped up in here some portobello mushrooms. I have halved some cherry tomatoes. I have some onions in here, oregano, and I just put them in a bowl with a little bit of apple cider vinegar and olive oil. And I let them sit here and marinate while the crust was baking and while the tomatoes were stewing in the oven. So once you have it all ready, then you can go ahead and just pour the stuff on there. All right. And then, you know, with the spoon, you can spoon it around. And then we'll be adding to this some vegan Daiya cheese. We like how that cheese, it's, you know, it's plant-based. We like how it melts, and we certainly love how it tastes. All right. And so now put the different veggies. All right. And then the Daiya cheese, we like a little spice, so we got pepper jack shreds. All right, and so we'll just put this all up in here. And because the crust is basically made, you know, you're just putting the pizza back in the oven for the cheese to melt. So really in total, this pizza should not take you more than 30 minutes. And if you think about it, by the time you order a pizza,
Gotta wait.
and you have to wait to go pick it up, right? It's going to be, you know, 30 minutes, or sometimes it can even be more. So this is a good way to, and I liked how you were saying, one of the points that you brought up, it's like, okay, well, you know, cooking healthy doesn't necessarily have to be boring. And it doesn't have to take a long time. 30 minutes is not really a long time when you think of a homemade pizza. You didn't have to knead the dough. You just kind of liquefy it with the ingredients in there, and then you pour it in here. So voila, this is it.
All right, any questions on that? If not,
All right, so we are about to transition to the next thing.
okay, so this is gonna be real simple. Once again, trying to help with the stresses of life. Chlorophyll is a big helper of that, all right? I'm gonna put, remember we talked about our little nuts, I'm gonna need that water, but that's
Okay.
pretty. Yeah,
All right.
I'll just put it over here. All right, so I've got a little rest of the almond milk. That's what I put. I'm out. We're at the end of the, you know, thank God payday's coming. Hallelujah. All right, that happened to be Califia, by the way. Do your research. Black Queen of California. All right. Somebody say it's a myth, mystery, whatever, but check it out. I think they kind of bumped her off and took over the land. All right. All right. So I'll go ahead and match that with a little cup of water. All right. I put the milk in to make it a little creamier, but you know, soup whatever you want with that cup of water. All right. So in this bowl, I have one of the little bitty apples we talked about. All right. We're gonna put the apple in there. I got an orange in there. All right. So I'm after the cleansing and soothing of your heart and your lungs. If you got issues in your lungs, you need smoke, a lot of smoke, whatever. That's what this is for. Helping to get in there and clear that out. Another orange, I got my little, what we call it, what is the banana? I keep forgetting that every burro and blackberries. All right. So that's the joy of it. Now, what I've done, this is what I'm adding today, is a little chlorophyll. Why do we want chlorophyll in our brains? Yeah.
Well, they're full of vitamins, proteins, and it gives you energy.
All right. So if you see an animal get sick and he's eating the grass, we've said this before, he's after the chlorophyll to go in there and help. That's why animals don't stress out, right? Unless like a cat and a dog don't know each other, then that can happen. All right. So I'm just gonna take the ice, put it in there, and you're gonna have. Last week we made a little infusion.
Water infusion.
Yeah, water infusion. All right. So that's what we're looking for right now. And then I'm gonna stir this up, and because it's nice and chilled now. the reason why I'm doing this because I made it. I try not to make it too thick because there's something else I'm going to do later on. But this will be the juice that'll go in, kind of like our drink that we eat with our meal. But the reason why is because I'm starting to get back into more athletic kinds of things. Walking, we've done walking. We went walking today.
Yes.
Did that. So that is a, if you want to call it smoothie, you just have to put extra banana in and not so much water in it, and it'll get thick like a smoothie. But this is good to help bring your stress level down. You drink that, just chill, just drink that, and you will find. I think we had one of our friends today say about the stress, the headache comes with it, whatever,
High blood pressure.
the high blood pressure. All what we put in there is to help bring that blood pressure down. So if you know you're going to go to the doctor, you're going to check your blood pressure. It's really changing the pressure of your blood, and that's what you want. You want to not the blood pressure of your blood, but what that blood is doing to gush and make you more excited. This is all designed to slow you down. That's why animals sleep a lot. So that's what we want to do for you tonight. This is very easy. All this is all plant-based. Isn't that right? Give you everything plant-based, but fun. Look at this pizza here. That's fun. This drink here is fun. Look like, it's like wine. I'm just joking, but but this is all help, and that's our cool drink for the night. Pizza. That's our dinner. Any questions?
Yes, we do have some
Good.
questions as we return back.
Yes.
So the cheese, they wanted to know the brand for the cheese.
Okay.
And so the brand that we use, and I'll put it up here, it's the Daiya brand. At least that's how I pronounce it. I don't know if that's the correct pronouncement.
Yes.
But it's a Daiya cheese brand. And then the question was, can you buy healthy, or no, not healthy, but already vegan made pizza crusts? And you can.
Yes, you can.
At in the frozen food section, the most health food stores, sometimes they'll have they have everything. They'll have gluten-free ones, a cauliflower pizza crust, and I have some that are corn based. So those are the ones that I've seen off the top of my head. I haven't tried them though. And I know when we were talking about the pizza places earlier, I know Blaze Pizza for sure, and I think Mod does too. If you want to do a gluten-free and vegan crust, they also have those types of crusts available.
The bottle.
Okay, so what need clarification of what bottle is being asked? What does the bottle look like?
Chlorophyll.
Oh, the chlorophyll.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Since I'm closer.
Yes. Good question.
Yeah.
Because we do search this.
So this one's made from Nature's Way. And they do vitamins too and supplements. This one is Chlorofresh. Fresh. Okay, Chlorofresh. And actually, there's another brand that we buy also that's good. I can't the name escapes me for now. But this one's good. I think we got this one at Farmer Joe's. But you can also most health food stores, Sprouts, Whole Foods, they will have the chlorophyll.
Yeah. And anytime I'm slowing down, and now this is you can apply it to the pace of your life. But if I'm playing softball and it's really hot that day, and how many times I have to run for other people or whatever, I'll need chlorophyll.
Right. And
yeah.
Right.
It just replenishes.
Yeah.
I gotta get more electrolytes,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But the grass has potent chlorophyll that our body
Yeah,
needs. The
yeah.
blood actually can live
It's
off of that.
it's nutrients.
Yes.
Again, without getting too scientific,
Right.
plants make their own food,
Mhm.
and when they make their own food, that's with the chlorophyll. And so that it has all the minerals and nutrients that a plant needs. So when you're doing the chlorophyll, you're getting straight nutrients. You don't only, the question is, do you only use it in smoothies? You don't, oh, you can put it in your drinks. You can
Glass of
put it
water.
in just
Yeah.
water.
Mhm.
And it doesn't really change the taste of the water actually. There are some chlorophyll that have mint in
Yeah.
it, that's like mint flavored. Yeah, because it's also good for to use as a mouthwash, or to cleanse if you deal with bad breath.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can just like this morning for our walk, I drank I got some water and put some chlorophyll in there to drink, to make to give me that extra energy, to
Yeah.
be out there. So
So it works. That's why we use it. We've been using it for years,
yes,
years.
yes, yes,
Just love it
yes.
for replenishing. It's a little more pleasant than wheatgrass.
Oh yeah, it doesn't because it
Yes.
doesn't have that grassy taste, or that earthy taste. I tell you, my sons, they drink it, you know, without any issues. So, I also too, I wanted to add that the recipes that we showed you today were all anti-inflammatory
Mhm.
foods,
Mhm.
and emotion, stress can cause your body to go into inflammation mode. Okay. Later on, I know you had come across some research that
Mhm.
possibly connects emotions and
Yeah, it's
inflammation.
really a beginning study to
Mhm.
see that the pressure that people tell you to get over some kind of trauma
Mhm.
can actually, you feel that pressure and it actually can swell you up.
Right.
It can actually be,
Right.
though these are beginning researches.
Right.
It's not the hugest, the largest of sample sizes. And one
Right.
study comes out, people have to
Right.
study on
Right.
that one,
Right.
etc.
Right.
But it's an interesting connection that God has always tried to tell us.
Mhm.
Our body is one.
Yes.
So our mind, our emotions are
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
affecting something in the physical.
Right.
And our physical is affecting something
Right.
in the mental.
Right.
So, when they have these chronic people, or persons, humans on depression, they like to explore these kinds of matters. Who's telling you the information
Mhm.
about your depression?
Mhm.
Are they telling you to just get over it? That adds more to
Mhm.
that, and adds more to the swelling of your joints.
Yes.
and
Yes.
causes things to kind
Yeah.
of blow up. That's what this recent study
Right.
is about.
Right.
And it's just I was telling your mother, the language is so, it's just so
Scientific.
scientific that
Mhm.
it was hard for me to show it and break it down. But we'll try to do that. Those
Yes.
of you, if you wish to peruse it and make those connections, you can see the beginnings of it. They're still trying to figure out the connection, but they are noticing. I'll tell you what, sugar affects mood. The more refined the sugar is,
Mhm.
it affects the mood.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
they've done studies on sugar and violence,
Right.
sugar and how kids become bullies in school.
Right.
So, those are very interesting
Yeah.
connections.
Yeah. And so what we want to say to you is that, look, if you know you're going through some stress, maybe you're in a situation, a job, or a stage in your life where it's very stressful.
Mhm.
Okay. These are some things that you can do while you are in that stressful information, not information, in that stressful time in your
Mhm.
life. Like, to make sure that at least once a day you've included something in your diet, or in what you drink that's anti-inflammatory. The berries, a berry smoothie, tomatoes. This pizza had the tomatoes, mushrooms, very anti-inflammatory. If it's just a glass of water with some chlorophyll in it, anti-inflammatory. Sometimes we just maybe you just eat. We enjoyed a few some watermelon.
Yeah,
At
thanks to Pastor
yeah,
Dossman.
right. And so those things are anti-inflammatory. So there's always something that you can do. Even sometimes we can't change our stressful situations. Sometimes we go through certain seasons that are going to bring those situations on. But as long as you're doing, even if it's a little thing, even if it's like we said, walking 15 minutes, those types of things. Citrus is also anti-inflammatory. So there's always something, like you said, for a snack. If it's just you pick up an apple or some nuts, even if you went to McDonald's, like you said, and got some fries, but hey, your day isn't shot. In the evening, eat, drink some chlorophyll or snack on an apple or something.
That's what I was going to say. And encourage your children, if they're about to take a test, drink 2 days before, drink some chlorophyll, get that in, stay away from the sodas. Because I understand the reality. So tell them to drink the soda after the test. Maybe that's a treat and a reward. But going into that test, you want them as fresh, mind clicking as possible. Get that chlorophyll.
And talking about soda, just real quick, I remember last year when I was, teaching, and I had a student that we got on a part. I forget what we were studying in biology, but we were talking about sugar and the amount of sugar and how it can affect moods, and then we went into talking about the digestive system, and we were talking about kidney stones and all that kind of stuff, and I was talking about how sugar can, and his look was like, and my students, they kept laughing, and they were like, oh, you don't know about this guy. He not only does he drink soda every day, he drinks it like basically 3 times a day. Like this is what they were telling me. And I was looking at him, and he had no shame. He was like, no, it's true. But he still had like this, like, oh my gosh, So one day he came to me, after class was over, and he was like, Mrs. Pascal, what you're saying is true. And I was like, well, it's not what I'm saying. There's research out there to show it. So, because I also say the same thing. I'm just a biology teacher. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health practitioner, right? So long story short, the testimony is I did the same thing, like what we're talking about. The boy was addicted to soda. So to tell him, don't drink any more sodas, that wasn't going to happen. But I told him, hey, you know how much soda you drink. All I'm saying is try to cut it down and see what happens. I think maybe I didn't even, I'm like, I don't know if he's going to take my advice or no. 3 weeks later, he comes to me and he says, you know what? I've noticed I'm not as tired anymore. I've cut down. He was like, I don't drink soda 3 times a day. He said, I do drink one once a day.
That's what we're talking about.
But that's what we're talking about. And he could tell the difference.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. Slowly do it. A couple of you may know my older brother, Sam, as we fellowshipped with Craig Dawson, and he said that was the only one that could beat him in running was my brother Sam. Craig was Pastor Craig Dawson, Dr. Craig Dawson was a really fast runner in college when we were all there. But my dad told me one time when my dad was alive, he said, man, your brother Sam he's been in the hospital and they got him checking up. I said, what? That's like Sam, he doesn't eat like me, but thank God he's still healthy, because if he ate like me, I couldn't keep up with him. But so my dad said, well, he's got pain in his back. They can't figure it out. And so the lower back pain just kept gnawing at him, getting worse and worse and worse. So I told my dad, I said, yeah, I think they're going to find that he's going to have some kidney stones. So the test came back with the kidney stones. They certainly showed that. And I said, yeah, because I've stayed with my brother. I kind of know that, I don't know who he's going to listen to, but somebody got to tell him he's got to back off the sodas. That's what he lived on. And my brother Sam he's not as big as I am. I mean, you've seen him, he's not as thick as I am, but he could drink those big gulps when they came out. That's what he wanted, was a big gulp. And when I was down there with him, I would get the big gulp of root beer. He'd get the big, he was the one that introduced me to the suicide, where you just mix all the sodas in one. And so you get that big gulp, and we sit there, and I saw Elder Roma put down, and it's the crash down from the sugar. That's what it is. You get all these teaspoons of sugar, you get all that, and the big gulp got it, and now the body can't break it down. So it crystallizes, it causes stones, place it in the kidney, because that's where it's trying to flush out, can't do it. That's where the kidney is a filter, so it can't get it out. So now these stones start, and they cause pain in your back. So these kinds of switches, where you get that chlorophyll in it, and some of these you can actually switch off. So one of the tricky ways, I don't know if it works all the time, is to get like a favorite juice or whatever, like juice in it, and then add a little 7-Up, or better yet, ginger ale. So that'll give you that little soda taste as you transition off. It's going to be a little better. We still say that you still want to back down, and that'll be one of the major things that you'll feel the difference. I'm glad your student said that.
Yeah.
That's evidence with a high schooler being able to say, hey, it made a big difference.
Yeah. So you know what? We've enjoyed our time with you guys. We really don't mean to keep you that long.
That's right. Sorry.
We're gonna have to learn how to cut these down to an hour, but we're just really excited about being able to share this, and most importantly, being able to provide a community of support. And definitely you guys do that when you share some of your experiences, and definitely even when you ask questions, the whole village benefits. So we hope that we have been able to encourage you, whether you're dealing with stress in your life, or you're trying to figure out how you can make a change here, lifestyle wise. It is possible, and it doesn't have to be a big dramatic change. Even if it's day by day, little steps here and there, then you can do that. There's a question about tonic water or club soda as a substitute, and yes,
those are good.
That's a really good.
That's better than the ones I mentioned, but that's perfect.
Yes.
Sometimes the kids want a little taste. You gotta have that little sugar. And anything, honestly, high fructose corn syrup is really doing our people
right. Yes, and like I said, we have just so much information that we could go on forever and ever. Yeah. But as he brought up high fructose corn syrup, there, and maybe we'll do a part 2 next Sunday, in terms of, we've talked about things that are anti-inflammatory, but there are things that we are putting into our diet that is causing a more inflamed state. And then on top of that, with the stress that we're doing, it's just a cause for disaster. But definitely high fructose corn syrup being one of those inflammation triggers in our bodies. And unfortunately, they're found in a lot of stuff, like ketchup. It's in ketchup, it's in a lot of stuff. So
green tea is supposed to be good for you.
Yeah, ginger. The sodas now have the high fructose corn syrup. Even it's even harder to find ginger ale that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. So it's so much information out there, guys. And so again, we don't want to keep you longer, but thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to doing more next Sunday, as we talk about.
We love y'all.
All right, guys.
Peace in the valley. Good eating.